Andrew McGahan standing alongside Gunnar Nelson's coach John Kavanagh here at UFC in London. John, Gunny's second fight in the UFC went longer than the last one and it's the first time he's ever gone to a decision. But did it pan out the way you thought with Santiago's style?
Second time going to a decision. His debut was a decision. But yeah, I always thought there was a chance of this because of Santiago's experience. A lot of times when Gunny gets on top of people, they panic and offer their back. And that's usually the finish. However, with Santiago, I was pretty sure he wouldn't offer the back. Instead, he took the punishment like a veteran, but survived, stayed in the fight.
I saw a couple of things on Twitter during the week, and it said that he had his black belt before Gunny had even started jiu-jitsu. I think he had over 15 fights before Gunny had his first. Was that anyway daunting for Gunny? Did you think this could be a really tough test, or did you just have faith that Gunny was that good?
I don't believe in faith, but I do know how he trains, and I know what we went through in the lead up to this. I also know his ability. So I did know, like I said, I wasn't all that surprised it was going to go as long as it did. I did think Gunny would stop him in the second, and he came close with it. That was my prediction, was second round TKO, but and he was pretty close with Mount near the end of the round. But Santiago showed his experience. And you know, he made very, very few mistakes. However, Gunny did pass his guard amount. Maia couldn't do that.
Speaking of Maia, do you think that'd be a good fight for Gunny at welterweight, or is it a little bit too early to think about Damien Maia?
As a fan, I'd love to see it. I think most jiu-jitsu guys would probably be very excited about that fight. Two high-level jiu-jitsu guys. But it's his second fight. He's 24, so we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. It is, you know, he had a decision right at the beginning, and then he went on a run where he was finishing people very fast. So, as a coach, I'm delighted that he got 15 good minutes in there with somebody who is well-rounded. You know, can kickbox, can wrestle, can obviously has a very good guard. So, you know, we want to take their development, take our time.
Do you think a key part now for the SBG fighters is going over to Iceland, training with Gunny, a guy who's been in the UFC? I know Conor spent time over there, Chris Fields, Cathal Pendred, and you've been on your, as you said, little vacation in Iceland for the past couple of weeks. Is those guys going over to Iceland, will it help them long term, or is it just the better sparring partners?
To be honest, the skill level for MMA is higher in Dublin. I have a lot more guys who are very high level. Obviously, in Iceland, there's Gunny and Árni that are two very high level, but then it's mostly amateurs. Well, it is all amateurs. They're the only two pros. Whereas in Dublin, I have a lot more professional, you know, pro level fighters. So the sparring is actually better in Dublin, I'd say. But what it was good for some of the guys that I brought over was a change. You know, just a different pace of life, a different way of approaching training. But like for Conor's next fight, we're going to stay in Dublin, for example. You know, Gunny will probably come over to us this time. But I like the, what can I say? I like the option of being able to do some of it in Dublin, some of it in Iceland, depending on what's coming up. And like I said, it's nice for the guys. I get to take them away from everything. They live with me, they eat with me, they train with me, they do everything with me. And you know, there's times where we're in the apartment at 1 AM and we're playing on the floor with something that happened during the day, and we're studying fights. It's kind of all we do. Obviously, Dublin has a little bit more distractions, so it's just nice to have both places.
The two of your most successful fighters, in a lot of people's opinion, you have Gunny, you have Conor, and they're both complete opposite ends of spectrum. Has that ever provided any problems, or do you think it's just opposites attract and the two of them play off each other so well?
Yeah, it is funny. Like I kind of say, like they're like the two they're like yin and yang, you know, personality-wise in how they compete, but they're actually very, very similar people in a weird way, and they get on you know, like really, really close friends, really good friends. So it's a nice, you can have a gym with all certain personality or all the different personality, but I like to have, like in my gym, it's kind of hard to know what we're going to do. Like maybe 10 years ago, people used to SBG, oh, jiu-jitsu, they'll take you down. Now we're getting a lot of knockouts as well. I mean, probably that was the most stand-up people I've seen from Gunny so far, and maybe that was surprising. in the fight it might have looked like he was getting clipped a few times, but I think it was his mullet that was moving so much that made it look spectacular. But if you look at his face, he hasn't got a mark, and Gunny does mark pretty easily, but he didn't actually get anything clean. Everything was like, he was being kind of hit as he was moving, whereas I think Santiago's face is a different story.
Speaking of which, where's your mullet? I believe there was a competition.
Gunny kicked my ass on it. It just wasn't getting anywhere, and it just looked sad, so I just took it off. Gunny's was spectacular.
And one quick thing, and we'll let you go. A prediction: there are two, we'll say, hybrid SBG fighters, Gunny, and then obviously Conor is your own, in the UFC. This time next year, or let's say 18 months away, how many SBG guys will there be in the UFC?
I guess I don't know. Off the top of my head, there's probably 2 or 3 that are knocking on the door. So maybe by the end of the year I can have another 1 or 2, and maybe a year after that another 1 or 2. So I think it could be 4 or 5 in the next 18, 24 months.
Thank you very much, John, and congratulations on Gunny's win.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.